Welcome in. You're listening to Locked On Now NHL, local experts on the biggest stories on the ice. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every single weekday. We have our Locked On NHL hosts. They're ready to break down everything from a very busy night on Tuesday, but we're going to kick things off in Chicago, where the Blackhawks' biggest star had one of his biggest nights ever in our biggest game.
The biggest game.
Patrick Kane has had plenty of great games throughout his veteran career, but yesterday he hit a mark that he had never done before or gotten to before when they beat the Ducks. Locked On Blackhawks tells you how Kane filled the stat sheet to get past Anaheim.
Patrick Kane's career night and Dylan Strome's hat trick carry the Blackhawks to victory. What's up, everyone? This is Jack Bushman from Locked On Blackhawks, and tonight the Chicago Blackhawks defeated the Anaheim Ducks 8-3 at the United Center behind a mammoth performance from the top line of DeBrincat, Strome, and Kane. First, for number 88, it was his first career 6-point game, a career best in points tonight for Kaner. He had 1 goal and 5 primary assists, and 4 of those points actually came in the first period when the Blackhawks vaulted ahead 5-0. Then for DeBrincat, he scored his 33rd goal of the season, also went on to add 3 assists. He stays red hot as of late, goals in 4 consecutive games now for DeBrincat. And then for Dylan Strome, another monster game. He now has 6 goals in his last 3 games after picking up a hat trick tonight. He also went on to add an assist as well, and that gives him 27 points in his last 31 games, darn near a point per game player. So a massive performance from the Blackhawks top line tonight. Another phenomenal game out of Dylan Strome. And could that potentially change the Blackhawks' mind on him with the trade deadline approaching? I'll talk about that, and we'll go over a full breakdown of this victory by the Blackhawks on tomorrow's episode of Locked On Blackhawks, your team every day.
A back-and-forth affair between the Predators and the Stars saw Dallas come up just short in Nashville. Locked On Stars has more on the playoff implications after the loss.
Tuesday gave us another installment of the Stars-Predators rivalry, but unfortunately the Stars were able to come away with nothing. What's up, everyone? Dane Lewis here with the Locked On Stars podcast, coming to you after the Dallas Stars 2-1 loss on the road to their rivals, the Nashville Predators. This was a very slow and defensive game that many thought it might be. Both these teams coming in off big wins, both these teams looking to claim that third spot in the Central Division and avoid being in the wild card. But now the Stars have been passed once again by the Predators in the standings. Still in a good spot overall, but definitely 2 points that they would really like to have back. Jake Ottinger with another fantastic performance for the Stars team between the pipes, but just came up just a little bit short at the end. His offense not doing him too many favors on the other side of the ice, and especially in the third period, I thought the Stars played a little too loose and allowed the puck to be in their zone for way too long, and that eventually resulted in Nashville getting the goals that they needed to come away with the win. We'll break down the game in its entirety on tomorrow's episode of Locked On Stars. We'll see you there, Stars fans.
The Predators capitalized late for a significant divisional win over Dallas. Our Locked On Preds host has all the details for you postgame.
After an up-and-down week last week, the Nashville Predators took the ice tonight at Bridgestone Arena to take on the Dallas Stars in what would be a critical Central Division matchup. Hi, everyone. I'm Ann Kimmel from Locked On Predators. The Predators and Stars are 2 teams very evenly matched in firepower, goaltending, and defense, and that was evident in tonight's game. Despite Nashville outshooting Dallas in the first 2 periods, the score remained 0-0 until the third period when Dallas scored less than a minute in. Nashville proved their resiliency, staying focused, continuing to forecheck hard, and being responsible with the puck, and were able to tie the game up on a great net front move by Ryan Johansson. Captain Roman Josi gave the Predators the lead with less than 2 minutes to play, and the Predators were able to hold off a last-minute Dallas push to win this game 2-1. This is a big win for Nashville, not just for the 2 points, but also because Nashville has struggled since the All-Star break to string together consistent, clean play. While this game couldn't be called a barn burner, it was such a tight game because of solid defense and responsible puck handling. This stretch of games coming up will require this level of high execution as the Predators look to climb back up the standings in a very competitive Central Division.
Certainly didn't come easy, but the Panthers got their 4th win in a row as they top the Penguins. Locked on Panthers has more for us.
Second end of a back-to-back and against a contending team like the Pittsburgh Penguins in this final game of the season series against Pittsburgh, and the Florida Panthers find a way to win. What is up, guys? This is Armando Velez from the Locked On Florida Panthers podcast, and the Florida Panthers defeat the Pittsburgh Penguins by a final score of 4-3 in Pittsburgh. The story of this game was really the power play continuing to be carrying the Panthers team, helping them to a win. They didn't get a game where it was 2 power play goals this time. That streak ended at 4 games for the Panthers. This time they only got 1. So beggars can't be choosers. But got to also give credit to Sergei Bobrovsky in this one. At one point when it was 3-2, the Pittsburgh Penguins were really controlling possession this one. They were not giving up many odd man rushes. And then Sergei Bobrovsky was just standing on his head, going 32 of 35 in this one. And Aaron Ekblad gets to the 50-point mark of the season. Anthony Duclair on the power play goal now ties his career high in goals. Maxim Mammon returns to the lineup, and he makes a big contribution in a big way for the Florida Panthers. Carter Verhaeghe scores a goal in his 2nd game in a row after going on a bit of a drought. So he's got his swagger back, that's for sure. And now the Florida Panthers have won 5 road games in a row after starting around 500 to start the season, and now they're 4-3-1 on the second end of a back-to-back. So the Florida Panthers have just been finding different ways to win, and they're doing that kind of run and gun style of hockey that they are able to play both ways, and it's really helping them carry them to wins. So to listen to my recap of this 4-3 win over the Pittsburgh Penguins, make sure to listen to my latest recap on the Locked On Florida Panthers podcast, your first listen of the day.
Coming up, Alex Ovechkin matches a legend on the career goals list. This is Locked On Now NHL. Today's edition of Locked On Now is brought to you by Bet Online. Football season behind us, but March Madness is right around the corner, and of course the NBA playoffs as well. They've got props, odds, whatever you want to bet. They've got things handled for your online betting needs. You just have to head over to betonline.net. Welcome back to Locked On Now NHL. I'm Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every single weekday. Now, Alex Ovechkin hit a career milestone on Tuesday in last night's best performance.
The best performance.
Hold up.
Alex Ovechkin helped the Capitals beat the Calgary Flames on the road Tuesday in a very big way. With more on the career mark for Ovechkin, our Locked On Capitals host has more.
Hello, this is Dan Homey from Locked On Capitals. It was a milestone game for the Washington Capitals tonight as they beat the Calgary Flames 5-4 and keep on in their winning ways. They look to build on that tomorrow night as they play Edmonton and make it 4 in a row. The Washington Capitals, who are winning teams that are in the top of their division. A couple nights ago, they beat the Hurricanes, and tonight they take down the Calgary Flames. It was a milestone game for Alex Ovechkin as he tied Jaromir Jagr with goal number 766. So ahead of him is Gordie Howe at 801 and the great one, Wayne Gretzky at 894. It was also a milestone game for Alex and Nick Backstrom, who played their 1,000th game together. Keep it locked on Capitals, and I'll keep you updated on all the news on the Washington Capitals.
The New Jersey Devils scored 5 straight goals to complete the comeback against the team with the best record in the NHL on Tuesday night. Locked On Devils breaks down how New Jersey came back against the Avalanche.
What's up? This is Trey Matthews of Locked On Devils, and here is my post-game reaction. So, the New Jersey Devils were able to upset the best team in the NHL. They beat the Colorado Avalanche by a score of 5-3. It looked like it was going to be an early curtain call for the Devils because Nico Hischier did not play in this game, and the Devils went down by 3 goals relatively early. And here's the thing about the Colorado Avalanche. They're notoriously known for not really blowing any leads because prior to this game, throughout the entirety of the season, they only had 6 blown leads. And the Devils, they're on the other side of the spectrum. They're not known for making comebacks, and they were able to score 5 unanswered goals against the best team in the NHL. So it was a tale of 2 halves, and then the Devils, for the first time in a long time, they were able to have a good second period. For any of my avid listeners, I've preached this on my show before, but the Devils, their worst period throughout the entirety of the season is usually the second period, but this time around, the second period actually helped them because that's when they were able to regain their momentum. They had some grade A chances relatively early in the game. Unfortunately, Darcy Kemper was just handcuffing them for a majority of the game. But at the Devils, I just kept saying to myself, if they just keep on shooting, they're going to be just fine, and they're going to mount this comeback and pull away with the upset victory. And that's what happened because, like I said, Devils had so many great chances early in the game. I said if they maintain that throughout the entirety of the game, they're going to be just fine. And lo and behold, they were able to beat the Colorado Avalanche 5-3 on their home ice, and the Prudential Center just went wild. It was probably one of the best games the entire year for the Devils, and they desperately needed it because I don't know what's going to happen to the team in a few weeks, but I'm really looking forward to what could potentially happen at the trade deadline. But someone like Damon Severson, he kind of made a name for himself in this game, basically telling the organization, hey, maybe it wouldn't be the best idea in the world to trade me. So we'll see what happens, but great game for the Devils, and I'm sure morale is not down after this game.
The Arizona Coyotes have won 3 straight games for the very first time this season, and they did it in convincing fashion. Locked On Coyotes reviews the 9 goals that Arizona dropped on the Red Wings.
Don't look now, but the Arizona Coyotes have their first 3-game win streak of the season. The win comes after a phenomenal effort, a 9-2 win over the Detroit Red Wings. The second straight game where the Coyotes have managed more than 8 goals. Not sure how it's happening now, but it's happening. Nick Schmaltz had 2 goals and 2 assists, continuing his 7 points from the last game to give him 11 points in his past 2. Clayton Keller had a goal and 2 assists. Nick Ritchie had 2 goals, 1 assist, as did Jacob Chikrin. Barrett Hayton had 3 assists, and Travis Boyd had a goal and an assist. A phenomenal effort from all of the Coyotes as this season comes to an end. Coyotes fans have not had much to look forward to, but they are getting that late in the year with some truly astonishing performances. I've been Carl Pavlock with Locked On Coyotes.
The Philadelphia Flyers don't win a lot of games, but they are now 2-0 against the Golden Knights so far this season. Our Locked On Flyers host enjoys recapping this rare victory.
Hi, this is Rachel Donner from the Locked On Flyers podcast with your quick post-game reaction to that Flyers 2-1 victory over the Vegas Golden Knights. The Flyers have won both games against Vegas this season and now have actually won 2 whole hockey games in a row. And of course, Carter Hart was everything in this game. He made save after save, facing 30 shots in just the first 2 periods alone. He was especially on point during a penalty kill in the second period, where he stopped a flurry of scoring chances, some even without his stick, as well as the very end of the game, where an unfortunate delay of game penalty on Ivan Provorov put the Golden Knights up 2 men after pulling the goalie. Carter Hart wound up with a whopping 47 saves on 48 shots during this game. This sets a new personal career high record for him for saves in a single game. Jack Eichel had 9 of those shots during this game and no goals to show for it. Other than that, the Flyers pretty much got outworked for most of the game. They only had 21 shots on goal themselves during it. I would say that Oscar Lindblom's game-winning goal was actually really nice. It was a wraparound that just got past Robin Lehner. For more on this game and the Flyers all season long, tune into the Locked On Flyers podcast.
That's it for this edition of Locked On Now NHL. Thank you for making it your first listen every single weekday. Make sure you check out Locked On NHL and your team's Locked On podcast as well. I'm Kanani Stevens. This has been Locked On Now.